Okay, I've just been playing on an Xbox controller, so the controls are all over the place.
The Empire of Japan. After opening its doors, a push for cultural transformation brought great waves of Western influence to this far eastern island nation. The revolution washed over the land, making life in the capital exciting and unsettling. It was a period of great change, and some was swept away by the tide. But for one man, the turbulence of that era was just the beginning of an extraordinary story.
HD cutscenes! This is so wild to see on my TV! Huh! Okay. Oh, I forgot to mention, I have my friend's script. Oh my god, this is so much. I'm sorry, guys. Oh, that needs to be adjusted. Can I fix that? Can I, like, fix that? Holy crap, yeah, like, no. Yes, I would like to skip this. That is very slow. Sorry. Sorry, I might just be stuck looking at this. It's so pretty. I can't. There's nothing going on. Anyway, I was supposed to say, I have my friend's old script on a second screen right now, so I do have the Japanese script. It's just set aside for now. And I'm gonna make a note that there's a lot that's gonna happen. Oh my god, I can actually see the details on those photos at the top. What the okay. I don't, there's so many details. I'm very certain I'm going to miss a lot of things, so forgive me. But yes, I do have stuff set aside, so we're ready to go. Oh, this is so much. Okay, 22nd of November, 8:43 a.m. Supreme Court of Judicature Defendants Antechamber 5. You know what? I've been hearing a lot of streamers are struggling with a lot of the words in this, so honestly, like, I could at least say most of the names. I still can't believe it. I still can't believe this is happening. Is it antechamber or antichamber? How can it be that just beyond the doors is just this quiet little chamber? It's the highest court in Japan, waiting to decide my fate. This is so crisp! Holy shit! What? Oh, no, nothing. Save your glares, murderer. Oh no, this is baby Naruhodo time. Sorry. There's so much text box space! My name is Ryunosuke Naruhodo. I'm a second-year student at the Imperial Yume University. 3 days ago, I somehow found myself in the middle of a horrifying incident. Oh my god, I actually remember reading that line. And now here I am, awaiting my trial. That's enough. He's not obliged to listen to such abuse, officer. The boyfriend's here. And who are you? I'm this man's lawyer. I'll be defending him today. Dude, I haven't heard any of Asogi's voices. Like, besides the trailer today, I actually haven't heard anything else. Lawyer? Yes, and until the judge has given his verdict on the case, no one has the right to treat him as a criminal. So you will hold your tongue. Technicalities. Look at you, you haven't even graduated yet. Asogi in HD! And yet I still seem to know better than you how a court officer should behave. Right, Ryunosuke? Oh god, saying their first name's gonna be weird too! Oh, yes, of course. Sorry. What if I end up having a very polite Naruhodo? Because the way Mark Oda voices Naruhodo in this, he's extremely polite. Like, Japanese Naruhodo is very loud, awkward, and then you have Mark, who's very, like, polite, awkward. What are you apologizing to me for? Oh, No, I suppose that wasn't my fault. But really, Kazuma, I never meant to drag you into this. I'm sorry. Sunglasses, Soki. There you go again, apologizing. Just like always. Though I must say, you've been all over the newspapers these past few days. Yume University professor murdered in cold blood by student. But, obviously, you didn't actually do it, did you? Of course not. You have to believe me, I didn't do it. I could never murder someone. Then there's nothing to worry about. Straighten up, hold your head high. You mean, I believe you. I know you're innocent, Ryanosuke. Kazuma Asogi, my best friend, also in his second year at Yume University. Isn't he certified best friend? Or something? But he's far more clever than I. A star student, in fact. He's even a qualified lawyer. Impressive, considering it's not that impressive. The very concept of lawyers is only a few years old. Here in Japan, anyway. My qualifications don't mean much, yet. You said exactly the same thing 3 days ago. But I'm proud to have a friend like you, Kazuma. Truly. 3 days ago. Yes, that's when all this started. Congratulations, Kazuma. It looks like you're going to get to study abroad at last. I know. I've been forever dreaming of this day. Finally, those government elites have acknowledged my academic achievements and successes in court. So you'll be representing Japan as you immerse yourself in the most sophisticated legal system in the world. I'm really happy for you, and proud as your friend. There's not a soul in the university who doesn't know Kazuma's name. He's a living legend. It's like there's some mysterious aura billowing around his temple. Okay, I guess we're gonna translate it like that. Just mention the warm breeze, it's fine. I want to bring about change in our own legal system. That's why I have to cross the ocean to see the real thing with my own eyes. The heart of the British Empire. I wish I could see it too. Then come with me. We'd have a wild time tearing up the streets of Her Majesty's City of London together. If only it were that simple. Oh dear, look at the time. I better be going. Alright, I'll see you later. I think I'll stay and enjoy this place a little while longer. Good idea. After all, it's not every day you get to visit a high-class Western restaurant like this. See you in English class tomorrow then, partner. He said the P word! Oh, I like chai lattes. Vanilla chai lattes are my favorites. It was straight after that. That's when it happened. Asogi, may I have a word? Them in HD! Professor, I didn't know you were coming. Well, this case has personal significance to me. But never mind that for now. Asogi, you should go immediately to the judge's chambers. To His Excellency's chambers? Why? He was looking for you before. You advocating for the defense in this trial was a sudden decision. It seems there may be some confusion about procedures today as a result. Who is this man? I feel as though I've seen him at... I think that's missing a word. I feel as though I've seen him at I think that's missing at the... I feel as though I've seen him at the university before. Sorry. Susanoo with glasses! I see. I'll go at once then. Look at the Japanese kids in their shades. I shall accompany you. All right then, Ryunosuke. I'll see you in the courtroom. Yeah. Thanks, Kazuma. You know, I would think, like, because Asogi and Naruhodo are friends, that he would at least know who Mikotoba is, but, you know, I understand we're not supposed to know because we're first time playing this game, but, like, contextually within the game, he should know who Mikotoba is. Ugh, this is awkward. If I may. Yes, sorry? You must be the defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, I believe. Yes, that's right. My name is Yujin Mikotoba. I am a professor of forensic medicine at Yume University. Professor Mikotoba. I've heard that name from Kazuma before. As I recall, he's been pushing to get the government to agree to Kazuma studying abroad. Asogi has told me about you. You and he are best friends, I understand. As such, I feel you should know. Know what? Well, as you've no doubt heard, Asogi has been granted permission to go and study in Great Britain. However, if he should fail to defend you in today's trial, I'm afraid that permission will be revoked and never granted again. What? As I suspected, you were unaware of this. I had a feeling Asogi may have chosen not to tell you. He agreed to defend me, knowing that if he fails, his dreams will be shattered? But I don't understand. Why would the government do such a thing? God, finding a voice for Naruhodo is gonna be fun. Again. The administration has to choose from a large number of applicants for overseas studies. Yeah, I think only in the main cast really have kept their names. I find it interesting when most of the supporting characters ended up having their name changes, like the witnesses that we're about to see. It's very difficult to persuade them to grant permission, even in the most favorable of circumstances. You use channel points, by the way, to make those sunglasses and stuff like that, to do those little effects. If you have channel points, you can do that. I don't believe it. But I didn't do it. I swear it. I'm not a murderer. I'm sure that's true. Nevertheless, I can assure you that proving your innocence will be no easy task. You see, there are certain peculiarities about today's trial. Sorry? What do you mean? You'll soon understand, once proceedings get underway. But then what should I do? Well, naturally, I'm not going to suggest doing anything that could lead to a conviction. Right, so as soon as the trial starts, the judge will pose a certain question to the defense. When that happens, you must answer before anyone else. You must say, I do. Are we gonna have a marriage proposal? I do? But what will the question be? Surely not. Do you accept the accusations brought before you? Of course not. Defendant! Court is about to begin. Proceed to the courtroom at once. It would seem our surreptitious discussions are to be cut short. Oh, I thought reading a script was hard, but this is gonna be interesting because Janet did her research, so I'm going to be challenged. So allow me to summarize. Kazuma Asogi must not be the defense lawyer in this trial. I remember Meowsy, a friend of mine, suspected Mikotoba was like a bad guy. I remember this. Of course, as the defendant, the final decision is yours. Surreptitious. Surreptitious, okay. That pronunciation doesn't even sound like what it's spelled. Whatever, English. What are you waiting for? Do you want to be found guilty for failing to appear? Get moving. There's no point in anyone advocating for the likes of you anyway. Man! Shut up! You leave Naruhodo alone. This is it. If this trial goes badly, Kazuma's dreams of studying abroad are over. And what's more, I'll be found guilty of murder. And so, with absolutely no idea what lay ahead, I embarked on that unforgettable trial. My one and only chance of proving my innocence. The trial that would decide my destiny. Oh boy, your destiny was decided. 9 cases. 22nd November, 9 a.m. Supreme Court of Judicature, Courtroom 2. Oh my god, I have to figure out how to pronounce that, because that's going to come up a lot, isn't it? So this is a courtroom. Ah, Naruhodo's swimming eyes! The courtroom in HD! The Supreme Court of Judicature. No court in the land has more power. Hello! I don't much like the look of those people sitting in the public gallery. Me! I can pronounce Japanese names, but I can't even pronounce Judicature or whatever it is. Lots of military and other uniforms in there. The powers that be have demanded that this be a secret trial. A secret trial? A trial that's closed to ordinary members of the public. Only military and government officials may attend. What? But why? It'll become clear in time, but for now, you need to concentrate, Ryunosuke. It's about to begin. Let me hear Asogi's objection, please. Because the Ace Attorney Twitter refuses to talk about Asogi ever. The court will now hear the trial of Ryunosuke Naruhodo.
The prosecution is ready, Your Excellency.
Oh, ouchie! As is the defense. Before we begin, there is one point of order I would like to confirm. Yesterday evening, the defense made a last-minute request for a change of advocate. That's correct, Your Excellency. I made the request myself. Normal procedure is for the defendant's advocacy to be decided 2 days prior to trial. As this is an unusual circumstance, I am obliged to ask for final confirmation now. Who advocates for the defendant in this trial? Judicature. Judicature. Oh. This is it. This must be the question. Who's going to defend me? That's the question the professor meant. But then, if I say I do... You know what I realize? I can actually pick the wrong options, can't I? What if I just wait and see? Where's my mouse? Do I have to do anything here? No, I don't need to do it. So yes, I can actually wait and see. So we're gonna wait and see because I remember the dialogue was really funny. Kazuma is the lawyer here. I can't defend myself. If I say I do, it would be tantamount to lying. And I've been accused of murder. For goodness sakes, this is no time for lies. Try to stop fidgeting, Ryunosuke. It's distracting. But if I don't say I'll defend myself now, things could end very badly for my friend. Your Excellency, no confirmation is needed. As I'm standing here beside the defendant, I hope it's clear who will advocate for us. Yes! adjusted how high his arm is. The angle of his arm has been adjusted for the localization, or for Chronicles. I don't think you need to know. I don't think I need to explain why. What is the meaning of this unruly outburst? I would like to inform the court that I, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, will be defending myself. What are you playing at, Ryunosuke? Professor Mikatoba told me everything. Just now, before the trial. He did what? He said that your dreams of studying abroad would be dashed if you were to lose. How sad. It means you don't have faith in me. You think I won't be able to get you off. Okay, very interesting choice of words there. No, it's not that, really. It's just that, well, on the off chance that things don't go well for me, I couldn't bear to be the reason that you... Yes, I knew that's how you'd feel, which is exactly why I decided not to tell you. Professor Mikatoba shouldn't have stuck his nose in. Very well. The court hereby recognizes the defendant's desire to advocate for himself in today's trial.
Oh, well. Does the accused admit defeat already? Renouncing his own counsel? Really?
Objection!
Oh! That's quite higher pitch than I need to hear that again. Make no mistake, counsel. This merely shows that the defendant's innocence is so apparent, he's confident he can speak for himself. Thanks for the vote of confidence, bestie! Isn't that so, Naruhodo-san? Huh? Oh, yes, exactly. Exactly what? I wasn't thinking. I'm not confident at all. In fact, my mind's a complete blank. I realize you're in charge now, but still, try not to look so bewildered.
Huh. Well, for a mere university student to be brought before the Supreme Court, you must have perpetrated a most heinous crime indeed.
As you are no doubt aware, this is the Supreme Court of Judicature of Japan. I'm going to get it eventually. Accordingly, the very highest standards of conduct are expected of all present. Do I make myself clear, Defendant Naruhodo? Yes, Your Excellency. It is therefore my duty to assess your competence for the task you have undertaken. Oh no, I'm going to pick all the wrong answers, Judge. My competence? What does that mean? I'm so sorry, Naruhodo. We're gonna make you dumb. He's questioning your ability to do the job. Well, he can't be questioning it more than I am. So let's start with the very simplest of questions. Oh, yes. Kindly state before the court the name of the victim in this case. Well, that's easy enough. I've heard his name more times than I care to remember. But, wait. I'm so nervous I can't even remember that. What was it again? Ryunosuke. Let me guess. Your mind's gone blank. You know me so well. Okay. All the relevant information for this case can be found in the court record. But I can't even find that. It's simple. You can access the court record with the press of R. If you ever find you've forgotten something, just consult that. It's all in there. R? Well, you let me press it, sir! I just have to press R for the court record. Alright, there's no time to lose. There we go! This is the list of evidence you've collected. Now try switching to people instead with R. You'll find details about the victim in here. When you're done, press B to go back. Okay. So remember, everything to do with the current case can be found in the court record. Can I open it again, sir? Thank you. Alright, proof the student that I always wear a collar. Oh, I can examine this. Okay, I can examine this. Okay, cool. Can I do this without a guide? This is what I want to know. Can I do this without a guide? I've played through this game so many times. I wonder if I can do this without a guide. Fatal hemorrhage from pectoral ballistic trauma. No exit wound. Bullet did not pass through the body. Okay. 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 R again for the people. He's an authority of forensic medicine and they call him Kazuma's mentor? Okay. Ouch! Victim of this case. There we go. John H. Wilson. Press F for John H. Wilson, everybody. Okay. So, okay, remember the case can be found in the court record. I think I read that. Now, you better not keep His Excellency waiting any longer. Go on. Find the victim in the people section of the court record. Then press X to present. Try it now. Yes! Sure! The victim was none other than Kazuma Asogi.
Objection!
Oh, ouchies!
Oh? Then why is that pompous-looking boy with the billowing headband still there standing next to you?
Oops. Oops, doesn't do that justice. Not content with having killed Dr. Wilson, now you're claiming my murder as well? About that, Kazuma! About that! I haven't killed anyone. Then concentrate and actually read the court record before you answer. I must say, you are not instilling the court with much confidence here. Quickly, give him the correct answer before he turns his gavel on you. Find the victim in the people section of the court record, then press X to present. Try it now! Okay, I'm gonna... Look! Yes! Look! Kazuma, don't make me do this! I'm just gonna present everybody! The victim's name is... Stop. You're just saying a random name that you came across in the court record, aren't you? He's calling us out! He's calling us out! How did you guess? It's blatantly obvious. From your wide-eyed look of bewilderment. I'm gonna do this one. Are you about to tell me the same thing, Kazuma? You know, the victim was none other than Takasuchi Alchi. And who's the uptight, bespectacled top-knot standing opposite?
Who's a bespectacled top-knot?
Ugh. Sorry. For some reason, that just came out, even though I know it's wrong. Because you have me playing.
Perhaps you're unaware that I am a master of the ancient No-style sword art. A pathetic little child like you would be sliced to pieces before you even came close to taking my life.
I wouldn't provoke that proud Edo spirit. He might draw his blade on you. I thought courtroom sparring was supposed to be done with words. Nope, I'm not reading that again. Okay. Alright, I'll give the right ending. Yes! The victim's name was Dr. John H. Wilson.
Shish. Well, at least you can remember the name of an esteemed member of your own university.
Dr. Wilson was a visiting professor from England, invited to Yuma University 3 years ago. Indeed, which is the reason why this case has such profound implications. The British Empire is at present our country's most valuable foreign ally. And as most of you will be aware, we have just signed a new treaty together after lengthy negotiations. There can't be anyone who hasn't heard of the Anglo-Japanese Treaty of Friendship and Navigation. That's a mouthful, and it's still a mouthful.
And yet despite these delicate circumstances, the blood of the Englishmen has been spilt on our soil. You two are both undergraduates at the Imperial Human University, are you not? Murdering a professor from the very institution that provides your education. Have you no honor?
Dishonor on your cow. But I didn't do it. This case is coming under great scrutiny from our allies on the other side of the world. The court therefore wishes for a speedy resolution to this matter. In other words, our feeble government is scared of upsetting England's policymakers. And you're a convenient and expendable scapegoat to blame for this crime. So that's why this trial has these unusual peculiarities, is it? Exactly. Our government needs to convict someone as quickly as possible. All because the victim was an Englishman. Yes, Dr. Wilson was an Englishman. But nationalities and treaties won't make any difference for me here. The fact is, I was there at the scene of the crime. That's very unfortunate, sir. Oh dear, look at the time. I better be going. Alright, I'll see you later. I think I'll stay and enjoy this place a little longer. Good idea. After all, it's not every day you get to visit a high-class Western restaurant like this. See you in English class tomorrow then, partner. The British Empire. Wow. It's incredible to think... Wait. I've seen that man at the university. What? Whoever does the text seems to have an issue with putting "the" in the sentence. I've seen that man at the university. I'm sure he's a visiting professor from Great Britain. I don't know his name, but still, I should go and say hello. What a polite boy. Look at him, introducing himself. So I went over to the professor's table. British? And introduced myself to Dr. Wilson. Oh my god, you know the one character I'm not looking forward to voicing too much? Well, it's not so much not looking forward to, I'm just a little intimidated whenever I get to Gina. Because from what I saw from the screenshots, they did keep a lot of her accents, like in the Scarlet Study too. Maybe not as strong as Scarlet Study, but it's pretty thick. Now then, let me pose my next question to you, Defendant Naruhodo. Yes, Your Excellency. How did this professor of medicine, Dr. John H. Wilson, lose his life? State before the court the cause of death. The cause of death? Well, obviously that was, Ryunosuke. Remember that in court, every assertion must be backed up with evidence. By evidence? But how? Find the piece of evidence that shows the professor's cause of death and select present. Do it now. No. Yes! The evidence that clearly shows the victim's cause of death is, of course, this. And on what basis do you present this evidence? Well, because it was in the court record, of course. Slow down. Why did you pick that? Isn't there something more relevant looking? Well, now that you say that, I suppose... Pick the wrong piece of evidence again, and it won't be a mystery as to your cause of death. Kazuma! Don't threaten death to your old friend! Yikes, he sounds and looks deadly serious. Find the piece of evidence that shows the professor's cause of death. Yes! Well... According to this document, the victim suffered a hemorrhagic death due to gunshot trauma. Yay! Naruhodo's me, struggling with English.
Learn to read, you imbecile! That's the post-mortem report, I take it.
Sorry, yes, that's right. The, post-mortem report. In the West, a doctor dissects corpse to identify the cause of death in an autopsy. But here in Japan, a police officer merely inspects the body and draws conclusions that way. Oh, I see. As long as I'm not going to be tested on any of this later. I got some news for you.
This so-called photographic print of the scene of... This is a so-called photographic print of the scene of the crime. You can clearly discern scorch marks around the bullet hole produced by the powder explosion. In other words, we should assume that the victim was shot at close range.
Thank you, counsel. The court will accept this modern scientific evidence into the record. Scientifically. Photographic print. Photo of the victim. Photographic print that shows the victim. He was shot from the front in the chest and subsequently died. So that's a photographic print. That's something I've never seen before. Aw, it's clearly superior to her drawing. The details is incredible. Very well, I am satisfied with your... Sure, I am satisfied with your... Okay. Let's pretend I didn't intentionally pick the wrong answers. It's fine. Let us start the trial. I quite like Ouchie too.
Certainly, Your Excellency.
The asinine episode certainly made me really like this pain in particular.
So, without further ado, in order to better appraise the court with the facts of the case, the prosecution hereby calls its first witness, who was there at the scene of the crime when it happened.
Ugh. This is it then? I think I may have worked out what the professor had in mind. The professor? You mean Dr. Mikotoba? Yes. Clearly you're the defense lawyer today, not me. But that doesn't mean... Well, I can still act as your assistant. Of course. When he was speaking with me before, he simply said, Kazuma Asogi must not be the defense lawyer in this trial. He really has been sticking his oar in, hasn't he? Sticking his oar in. That's a phrase. Maybe, but any help you can give me would be greatly appreciated, Kazuma. Well, my first piece of advice is, rein in that crazy look of bewilderment and control the cold sweats. Only if you rein in that crazy headband and control the cold stares first. Hosonaga!
Witness, state your name and occupation for the court, please.
Of course. My name is Satoru Hosonaga. I am the head waiter at the Western-style restaurant called La Carnival. La Carnival. Ah, yes. His coughing. Are you alright? You seem to be coughing up some, I think Hosonaga would probably be a little bit more soft-spoken, yeah? It's a regular occurrence. It really doesn't bother me. Well, it really, really should. Yeah.
As everyone knows, the capital's southeastern quarter was developed for foreign visitors some years ago. It's become a very fashionable district now, full of hotels to accommodate overseas guests. This grim crime occurred in one of the district's so-called restaurants, an Occidental eatery, 3 days ago.
Understood. Hosonaga-san, you will kindly tell the court everything you can about the incident. At once, sir. Yeah, I think Hosonaga would probably have a very soft voice. He coughs a lot.
And no petty interjections from the aspiring lawyer boy, please!
Perspiring, maybe, but aspiring? Perspiring? It was just after 2 p.m. on the day in question. We have few diners at that time of day. The lunchtime rush was over, and there were only 3 tables still occupied. I want tea served by Hosonaga. That fits with my memory of it, too. There was hardly anyone else in the place. It was when I was in the kitchen, putting away crockery and cutlery. A gunshot rang out, so I hurried out to the dining area to see what had happened. I found the victim, an English gentleman, slumped in his chair. And standing immediately beside him, gun in hand, was the accused university student.
Yes!
Hold on! Let me just clarify something here. While I did pick up a gun that I found lying on the floor besides the professor, I didn't shoot him.
Objection!
God, this is so wild. Hearing them shout in English.
I believe I asked you to refrain from petty interjections. The court wishes to listen to the witness report of what he saw, you amateur.
But the next time you interrupt at an inappropriate time, you will be penalized, defendant Naruhodo. Don't worry, Ryunosuke. You'll have your chance to fight back. For now, we must just quietly listen to the witness. Ugh.
If I may confirm one point, waiter. Standing beside the victim with a gun in his hand was the same man we see here in court today.
Yes, without question.
I see. And apart from the accused, was there anyone else standing beside the victim?
No. There was no one else around that table but the deceased Englishman and the university student. Huh? Wait, what did he just say? There was no one else around that table. What's the matter, Ryunosuke? That's just not right. When I was over to Dr. Wilson to say hello, there was a woman sitting opposite him at his table. Really? And that's not something the waiter could have missed. I've been warned about interjecting, but still, what should I do? Interject! Yes! Just a moment, please. Dr. Wilson wasn't alone that day. I'm sure of it. There was a lady sitting with him at the same table.
Objection! Dear me, dear me. What are we going to do with you? With your blatant disregard for court proceedings, I'm beginning to wonder if you're not a fraud. Could it be that the accused...
Well, you can't be a fraud. He was never a lawyer to begin with.
This mere student is not a real lawyer after all.
But I'm sure of what I saw. Hosonaga-san, is there any chance you're mistaken? Perhaps your memory of events is hazy. No. The deceased gentleman came to dine alone. I don't believe it. Hosonaga, you really do need to get that checked. I actually have a rough plan of the restaurant as it was that day. Please, have a look if you'd like to. Let me see. A sketch of the establishment's layout, drawn by yourself, I presume. That's right. I'm afraid I used the back of my business card. It was a turbulent situation. You know what's really cool? I give credit to Scarlet's study. You can kind of see faintly the other side of the card. Scarlet Studies, like whoever does the graphics for them, took the time to put English on that other side of the card. So it like when it comes through to the back, you can see it as in English. It was actually pretty cool editing. However, as you can see, the gentleman in question was seated alone. Big fat lie! I believe in Naruhodo. Well, you're clearly a very conscientious waiter. No, he's not. Thank you, sir. The court will take this plan and add it to the court record as evidence. Oh, well. Is there a problem? Hand the plan to the court officer at once. Of course. Here you are. What was that about? He's been completely calm and collected until now. Something certainly seems to have shaken him. Wait, did they revoice Hosanaga's coughing? The head waiter's business card. A sketch of the restaurant's layout is on the back. I feel like did they recast Hosonaga for coughing too? Like, I know for his like little bubble they have to give him an English thing, but did he also do it for the coughing?
So the court has now heard a precise of the case. Oh boy.
Yes, at the moment the gunshot was heard in the restaurant, the only person in close proximity to the victim was a defendant on trial today. It would seem we are looking at a black and white case here. Heck no. Defendant Naruhodo. Yes, Your Excellency. If you admit your guilt at this stage, the court is willing to look mercifully upon you.
In other words, you may have some small reprieve in terms of your inedible punishment. I call this waiter as an unsworn witness in order to explain the details of the case to the court. But I must warn the defense, if you are determined to pursue matters further in this trial, the prosecution has decisive evidence from sworn witness who were present at the scene of the crime.
What do you think I should do, Kazuma? Oh my god, Naruhodo is so helpless. What do you mean? Well, I'm going to be found guilty one way or another, it seems. Wouldn't it be sensible to plead guilty at this stage and hope for a more lenient sentence? I don't know if you're gonna get a... I'm sorry to say, Naruhodo, but I'm pretty sure you're not gonna get a lenient sentence regardless. Everyone keeps telling me that this trial is unusual about these peculiarities. Holy crap, why am I bad with English today? You said it. You said it. Professor Mikatoba said it. And so has the judge and the prosecution. I'm scared of what lies ahead if I push this. Oh! I forgot how helpless this boy is! Someone give Naruhodo a hug! As I said from the outset, I believe you're innocent. I trust you. And yet, despite knowing that, you're willing now to throw that trust back in my face? What? If the accused is in fact innocent, then a defense lawyer is duty-bound to prove that innocence by whatever means necessary. Are you just going to abandon that duty? Are you going to give up on yourself? The battle hasn't even begun yet, Ryunosuke. The defense pleads not guilty, Your Excellency. We invite the prosecution to stop making empty threats and bring out its witnesses. Then we'll see just how decisive this evidence really is. Rumble, 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 rumble. Indeed. Prosecutor Aoji, please continue with proceedings.
Tisk! Well, you were warned. The young can be so reckless. You know, many call me a saint, but I can be a devil when I want to be.
Okay, I'm pretty sure that's a line that Kristoff said at one point, but anyway. Ugh.
In a few short moments from now, that dumbstruck young mouth of yours will be silenced forever. The prosecution calls its next witnesses.
I'm offended that Asogi doesn't like chicken. Chicken is amazing. Very well, officer. Bring forth the witnesses at once. Ah, here we go. These two.
Witnesses, kindly state your localized names and occupations for the court while I suffer.
Yes, sir. The Great Nippon Imperial Army Sergeant. Yes, sir. No, sir. Reporting for duty, sir.
Myself I find employ as a purveyor of fine artifacts of antiquity from the efflorescence of our nation, Nippon, and conduct by trade from Rasute?
Rasute. That has to be a pun.
A humble premises in the 2nd District, Kurio Kurikuta, at your service.
Curio Collector. Curio Collector. Yes, sir. No, sir. Curio Collector. I still remember their Japanese names, actually. Yes, sir. No, sir was Taizo Uzukumaru. And oh, God, I remember the curator's name just because it was so long. It was like Sanman Sono Higurashi. It's so long. Good luck any English speakers being able to pronounce it. I understand that name needed to be changed.
Both of these gentlemen were present at the restaurant on the day in question.
Yeah, curator. It's Curio. I think his name, like, if you say it properly, it's like Curio Collector or something like that. They must be the diners at the other table that the waiter mentioned.
Myself, I habitually take tea of the most exquisite aroma at the establishment in question, always post-noon. And not infrequently, converse with interested parties regarding the curios with which I make my business.
I can't understand a word that old man is saying. It's okay, Naruhodo. Let him talk. He's an antique dealer, and it sounds like he's a regular at La Carnival. He seeks out potential customers who may have an interest in antiques and tries to sell his wares to them. Want to buy my wares? He obviously targets La Carnival because it's a high-class restaurant with rich clientele. Right, I see. Although, to be honest, that sergeant looks more like he'd be a seller rather than a buyer. Oh, thanks for hosting!
Now, you both witnessed the precise moment of this most atrocious incident. Is that correct?
Affirmative! The enemy unit has seen attacking the foreigner in what can only be described as an act of war, sir. It was that black uniform rogue infantryman over there who unloaded his firearms, sir, and there's the baby. This man's as impossible to understand as the other. But I'm almost sure I heard a strange noise during that last thing he said. So this is the decisive evidence the prosecution was threatening. The soldier is claiming that he actually saw the precise moment you shot the victim dead. Yes. Well, are you starting to feel uncomfortable? You know what? I'm gonna go look at the court record for a second. Wait, I can't do that yet. Never. I can't. Can I flip this yet? Oh, oh. Okay, that's how they put the Okay, cool. I was like, I can't flip it yet. Okay, never mind. If I'm honest, I was feeling uncomfortable from the start. Just whatever antiques you imagine in your head, it's probably, just think of it as back in the day. Pretty much something similar. Now, the court will hear your formal testimony, please. You will state everything you saw at the precise moment that the incident occurred. Not cross-examination. Sir, yes, sir. Standing by ready to report, sir. I'm getting ahead of myself.
Unsavory memories of a most Arabic morning. Arabic afternoon, not morning. Why did I say morning?
Witness testimony! What the witnesses saw. I was ingesting a regulation beefsteak at the restaurant while having a tactical discussion with the old man.
Myself, I was extolling the virtues of a particularly fine golden curio to the military gentleman.
At that precise moment, a firearm was discharged. I observed the enemy's actions with my own eyes. The black uniformed varsity cadet fired on the English civilian, and from the back, the cowardly little weasel. Oh, and from the back.
I was on my hands and knees investigating the whereabouts of my mysteriously absconded precious curio.
I love the soundtrack so much. Well, so you, Sergeant Nosa, actually witnessed the vital moment. You saw the split second when the defendant fired the weapon at the victim. I'm a chicken person, but I love beef, you know. I just don't eat a lot of beef. Yes, sir. Affirmative, sir. That wicked university cadet, sir. The cruel and unforgivable enemy, especially Korean fried chicken.
What times we live in, when an English gentleman may be assailed in the broad light of day.
But this is ridiculous. I didn't shoot anyone. Bacon. Is that really true, Ryanosuke? Yes, all I did was pick up the gun that I saw lying on the floor. Ryanosuke and Miles Edgeworth will be good friends, I'm sure. They can connect about picking up guns when they shouldn't. After I said hello to Dr. Wilson, I went back to my table and sat drinking coffee. Then, when I'd finished, I got up from my seat to leave the restaurant. When I noticed an English-made gun next to the chair where the professor was sitting. I thought perhaps the professor had dropped it. So I bent down, and just as I was picking it up... Illustrations in HD! Kazuma is just... Oh, I'm sorry. Well, if that's the truth, there was obviously a criminal on the scene somewhere. Pork cutlet. And somewhere in these two witnesses' testimonies, there's a clue as to who that criminal was. There is? Ryanosuke, you must exercise your right to cross-examine the witnesses. Cross-examine? I think the first accolade is about to come up. Do it now.
As we have heard, Your Excellency, there is no room for doubt in the testimony of these witnesses. The defendant is clearly guilty. It is time to bring this despicable student to justice.
Certainly. The testimony the court has just heard eliminates any vestige of doubt. Therefore, it is my grave duty to declare the verdict of this...
Yes!
What in the name of the Emperor is the meaning of this outburst? I mean the defense demands its right to a cross-examination. And there's the line. Mark does it better than me.
Dear me, yada yada. Let me guess. The Hachimachi headband boy next door told me to do it. How pathetic.
Huh? How did he know?
The prosecution objects. This is a clear waste of time. The defendant obviously has no experience. How can he possibly carry out a cross-examination?
Objection!
I think I'm gonna warm up to this objection. It's just different. And it's kind of like how I felt with Naruhodo when I initially heard his voice in English. So it's different. I think I will end up liking it. The defense is asserting its right to a cross-examination. Whether or not you think he's capable of it is irrelevant. Now shut up and sit down. Kazuma is so commanding. Heck yeah. Very well. Let the defense conduct a cross-examination of the witnesses. Alright, this is where the battle really begins, Ryanosuke. But I don't even know what I have to do in a cross-examination. Isn't it obvious? You have to expose the lies in the witnesses' statements. How? You didn't fire the gun, which means that what that soldier said has to be a lie. Well, yes, but it's just a case of proving it. And the key to doing it is evidence. Right. Evidence. Huh. All you need to do is present some decisive and indisputable evidence that proves the witness is lying. Now let's go, Ryanosuke. Don't let them beat you. Baby slaps! Oh, alright then. It's all or nothing. The baby slaps. Oh, the cut-ins! Look at those cut-ins. This is so much. What the witnesses saw. I'm sorry, it's only the first case, but this is already so much. So are we pressing on everything? I guess we're pressing on everything. What's the button for, okay. Yes! What? Why? Why aren't you saying anything? Is this some new interrogation technique? I hadn't actually thought of what I wanted to ask. Just ask about anything that catches your attention. Anything that bothers you. Alright then. This beef steak you mentioned. what kind of food is that? Tension! Beef steak is a delicious cut of veal vigorously cooked on a cast iron grill and served piping hot. Oh. If food could receive medals of honor, beef steak would be almost as highly decorated as a cutlet. Right, I see. Thank you, sir. So, next question. This cutlet you mentioned, what kind of food is that? I love Naruhodo's attention is to ask about food. Tension! Cutlet is a delicious cut of veal tossed in breadcrumbs and deep fried in cooking oil, and I'm hungry now. Accept your guilty verdict, atone for your crimes, and when you're released from prison, try it. Yes, sir. I will, sir. On the double, sir. Sorry to interrupt, but how about trying to stick to questions that are relevant to the case? Food is relevant to Naruhodo. Shut up. Oops, sorry. I'll do my best. So, next question. Is it just me, or do you keep hearing a sort of wah crying noise? Negative! Well, at least we've learned that he's a big beef lover. Affirmative. Big beef lover! I got it! It's not easy knowing what questions to ask. Prime presser, there we go, that's one. I will cross that out later because I don't know where it is on the thing. Yes! So that's how it pops up on the Switch. I have no idea what you're talking about.
A koban, boy.
A koban? You mean an old Edo coin?
The day prior to the incident, a treasure of exceptional value from the Hoei period entered my possession. I took myself to the restaurant the following day with said items secreted in my bosom. Secreted, not secreted, secreted in my bosom pocket. I should let you guys know, since I am looking for achievements, there are 4 achievements in the first case, so I got 1. In the hope of an affluent cognoscent appraised of its indisputable value be present. So, you were hoping to sell your koban coin? The Sergeant Nosa, whom you met at the restaurant. Did they also serve lobster? Because I remember at some point in history, lobster was not considered a delicacy like what it is right now. Yes, it's quite clear where you're going with this, boy. You were about to assert that a penniless soldier would have no hope of purchasing a precious koban. Isn't that so?
Oh, I love seafood too. I'm a little picky about how it's cooked though. Well, you little upstuck cadet. You want to add disrespecting a superior officer to your list of crimes, do you? Blatant subordination. No, I didn't say anything. Although, penniless might be just the word I was looking for.
In any case, the hour was already advanced beyond that of the midday luncheon. There remained precious few present with whom I could engage in discord about matters of business. The gentleman assigned me, who was grappling with his braised veal at the time, was my sole prospect.
I see. Yes! So, you're saying that you actually saw me at that time? Affirmative! I saw you! Laughing, cackling, like a madman as you trained the barrel of your gun on the English civilian. Oh, shut up, that's a lie. Don't bully Naruhodo. The baby's But that's impossible. I only... Allow me to confirm just one point, please. What's that, Private? Thinking carefully about the statement you just made, it seems to me that it must have been just after you heard the gunshot that you looked over to the victim's table. And so what if it was? Well, if that really is the case, it would mean that you didn't in fact see the precise moment when the killer actually fired the gun. Ah! Double arc! My sixth sense. Sorry? My sixth sense of danger. I picked up the waves of murderous energy radiating from your foul mouth. Which means, a split second before you pull the trigger, I was looking right at you, cadet. Surely that's not really possible, is it? Do you think I'd have gotten where I am today in the army if I couldn't sense danger in the air, son? Well, it would seem this soldier is absolutely convinced that he saw you do the deed. This is not good. Get used to those baby slaps because they're eventually gonna go away or not as frequent. Okay, I think this is the statement I need to present something, but we're gonna press first. Yes! So this black uniformed university cadet, you're saying that was... Arg! I've had just about enough of your sauce, cadet. Your sauce? Who else do you see around here in black uniform, hmm? Well, there's someone standing right next to me who fits the description as well, but... Wow! It was you, you little weasel! You unloaded the firearm on that man! From behind his back! And you call yourself a citizen of the great empire of Nippon? You disgust me. That expression that Naruto had! What is it, Ryunosuke? I'm not quite sure. It's something that the sergeant just said, but I can't just put my finger on it. Something's playing on my mind. In that case, check back over the details of the evidence you've gathered in the court record. And if you find any inconsistencies, if you find an inconsistency there with what the witness just said, then don't hold back. Okay, I gotta make sure of one thing. Okay, there's either two things. I'm presenting the report or I'm mispresenting the picture because he definitely didn't shoot from the back. Present the evidence to the court. Thrust it in the witness's face and make him choke on it. Yeah. I like that line. Yes! On your hands and knees. Could you explain that, please?
That's right! Spurning the arthritis, I was, in order to retrieve the lost piece.
Oh, you poor man. What lost piece are you referring to?
The Koban, of course! The exquisite Hoei-era Koban coin! I had just been showing the rare treasure to the military man as he masticated his meal. After averting my eyes for the briefest of moments, it was there no more. It simply vanished. The Koban vanished? And I began to acquaint myself with the intricacies of the floor in order to locate it. And then it happened.
You heard the gunshot, you mean?
None other than. Though it was no concern of mine. I was frantically scouring the floor for the aforementioned lost treasure.
So, in fact, you didn't actually witness the precise moment when the incident occurred.
Indeed, myself, I did not.
Ugh, I have no idea what I'm supposed to do here. Listen, Ryunosuke. We know there are lies lurking in these statements. It's time to expose them. Gordon Ramsay Institute. I understand that. The question is, how? Like I said before, the key to this is using evidence that you've collected. You can examine and present evidence with a witness while a witness is giving testimony by pressing R. Go through each witness's statement and the details about each piece of evidence and compare all the facts. Somewhere in there, you'll find something that doesn't add up. In other words, an inconsistency. An inconsistency. When you find a statement and a piece of evidence that seems to contradict each other, present your evidence with X and rip the witness apart. Guy Fieri, Ace Attorney. It's a cooking challenge in the courtroom. Just be careful, because if you assert a contradiction that has no basis, you'll be given a penalty. If you're dealt too many penalties, the defense's case will fall apart, and you'll receive a guilty verdict. So that's it. Peruse the evidence in the court record and find an inconsistency with the witness's statement. I'm starting to understand why Fino hated this. He really hated doing the tutorials, because Asogi was teaching all of them, and he really hated it. Alright, I'll give it a try. You can hear the witness's statement over and over again as many times as you like. So keep your head and be measured in your attack. Good luck, partner. Asogi, I bet Asogi already knows the answer, but he's probably just letting, like, Naruhodo do it. Alright, this is the statement I want to present. I think. There we go. Alright, this is where I want to present. I'm going to go with the photo. Let's see if that's going to be it. Yes! Okay, it is. Cooked up the truth. Naruhodo, you need to say something more than yes. What are you playing at, cadet? What is the meaning of this subordination? Thrusting some photographic print in my mustache. Inconsistency, sir. I mean, yes. There's a clear inconsistency here.
What nonsense! What can this print possibly tell us that we don't already know?
Well, obviously, that, I know what I want to say, but the words just won't come out of my mouth.
Ha! I think this proves beyond any doubt, Your Excellency, that there is no place for an amateur student here in this grand courtroom.
So frustrating. Oh, please. Surely this doesn't require an explanation. It couldn't be more plain. To spell it out would be an insult to the court. There's the song! There's the song! Samurai Mission! Mission of a Samurai! Which I think actually has a proper title now. Kazuma. What?
What are you talking about?
It's apparent from a single glance at the photographic print presented by the defense that there's a clear discrepancy here with the sergeant's statement.
What?
Sergeant, yes sir, no sir. Yes sir, what sir? The statement you just made was this. The black uniformed varsity cadet fired on the English civilian, and from the back, the cowardly little weasel. Yes, sir. Affirmative, sir. I witnessed the crime with my own military-grade eyes, sir. Liar. Yes. But no, that just can't be. And why not, cadet? Hello and good evening. Because, the kazoo is coming after case 1. Also, I need to go out and buy a kazoo. Take a close look at the print. My plan was to just have it there and then have it for, like, later into the thing. I don't have a thing right now. God. The victim, Dr. Wilson, died from a bullet wound to the chest. Ah. Sergeant, according to your witness statement, the culprit shot the victim from behind. And that is the obvious discrepancy here. Well, how do you explain it? Well, there's the baby. What was that? Something just popped up from behind his back, but he pushed it down again. Isn't that considered baby abuse? Certainly, there is a clear discrepancy with the facts here. Would you not agree, Sergeant Nosa? Yes, sir. At this juncture, that would appear to be indisputable. Until the moment I heard the firearm discharge, my eyes were on a baby. Firmly fixed on the delicious Larcanavo steak, sir.
What?
The last testimony the court heard has proven one thing beyond all reasonable doubt. This witness, Sergeant Yesa Nosa, did not see the defendant firing a gun at all.
That's absurd!
I think the conclusion we must draw is simple. There is no place for an amateur prosecutor here in this grand courtroom. Oof! Yay! There's the other one. Inconsistency Seer. There's been a complete turnabout in the mood of this trial, just from that one discrepancy. He said the word! He said turnabout! So this is what being an ace attorney is all about. He said ace attorney! Oh, you're so funny, Janet. You're so funny. But I definitely saw him. That university cadet there. He was pointing the firearm directly at the victim's back. Yes! But I never fired the gun. Okay, the other... That's weird. The other trophy did not trigger yet. All I did was pick it up from the floor. I might be reading this wrong, but there's one more award. The last reward is completing case 1. That's a given. And then there's one more reward where I have to examine a certain evidence. And you, old man, you didn't see the moment the victim was shot either?
Myself, I've already been quite clear. The gunshot interested me not. I was far too busy on the floor.
Oh, yes, you were looking for your Koban coin, weren't you?
Indeed, the prized Hoera Koban. Hunting around under the table I was, in case mayhap it had fallen there, and then it happened.
You heard the gunshot, you mean?
Indeed, I did, but I heeded it not, for I was concerned only with finding my absconded Hoei treasure. Nothing could distract me.
Not even if you were shot in the knee or something, old man? Out of interest, did you find the coin in the end? Hello again. I see. Oh, I missed the line. I was reading the chat, sorry.
That lamentable day, the precious Hoei Koban was lost to me. No doubt some unscrupulous scoundrel pocketed the prize coin for himself.
God, I know I've already seen this on the 3DS version, but I do appreciate how alive everyone is. Like, everyone is reacting accordingly to each other. And even as, like, Kiryu was talking, you could see Yesa try to shove the baby back to his back and next to him, even though we were not focused on him. These characters are alive. As I'm sure... That's not the culprit. As I'm sure everyone present is aware, this case demands a swift and decisive resolution.
You would have to take that Koban coin from my cold, dead hands.
Anyway, our government has promised to send a full report to Great Britain by telegraph this very afternoon. Nevertheless, the witness testimony the court has just heard was inconclusive. No matter how subservient our government feels it must be to the British, it would be unforgivable to deliver a verdict on this trial right now. Why are we keep making Susato a pancake? What is your position, Prosecutor Ouchi?
Worry not, Your Excellency. The defendant may have fled a tiger at the front gate, but he will find a wolf at the back.
Thank you for the proverb.
My witnesses have further testimony to make.
Explain.
Upon hearing their next statements, it will become abundantly clear that there is only one person who could possibly have committed this despicable crime. The equally despicable defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhodo.
What? He really seems to have a despicable opinion of you, doesn't he? Ugh. I think he had a similar proverb in the Japanese version too, so... Very well, the court invites the witnesses to testify again. You will thoroughly examine the reasoning behind the prosecution's allegation. Is that clear?
As clear as Kuriko glass, Your Excellency.
Sus, don't bring the sus in here. Yes, sir, at once, sir. Awaiting signal to testify, sir. Excuse me, but there's something or someone peeking out over your shoulder, I think. Affirmative! The newest member of the Nosa family to rise up through the ranks, sir. Name, Ido. Ido Nosa? I don't know, sir? Wait, I don't know, sir? Is that the pun? I don't know, sir. It seems those straps are a sign of the sergeant being too strapped to afford a nanny. Ido, tension! Your father is about to quell the enemy. Watch and learn, my boy. I don't know, sir. Sorry. The true culprit. These puns are going to kill me, and I'm only in case 1. Even if what I saw wasn't the precise moment the firearm was discharged, it's almost the same thing.
Yes, pointing his gun at the foreign man. He was the young lad in black. Not much I myself did see.
Certainly. Stop, chat. I'm trying to read. Furthermore, a visual search of the premises at the time confirmed that we were the only personnel present.
Indeed. Alone, he was. The Englishman. Dining all by himself.
Are you just like shortening everything the sergeant is saying? Therefore, no one other than the black uniformed cadet could have dispatched the Englishman. Over and out. Yes, these testimonies. Okay, sir. Wait, that's nonsense. The victim, Dr. Wilson, wasn't alone at all.
Please, enough of these outbursts already.
But there was a woman. There was a young woman at his table. You must have seen her. Everyone there must have seen her.
Objection! If you call yourself a lawyer, then you will respect the rules of the court and speak accordingly. We are not here to listen to your fantasies.
Ugh.
It is evident beyond all reasonable doubt that the victim was alone at the time of the incident. The prosecution has photographic evidence of this fact.
Is this a photographic print of the scene of the crime, counsel?
Indeed. Of the table at which the victim was dining, taken by an investigator immediately after the incident. As can plainly be seen, there is only one place set.
Certainly, based on the appearance of this print, it would be reasonable to conclude that the victim was not in the company of anyone else. This doesn't make any sense. Naruhodo, if you're insisting there was a woman and they're denying it, they might have been bribed. The court will add this new photographic evidence to the record. They've probably been paid to be silent. A bottle of carbonated water and a steak lunch can be seen on the victim's table. I don't understand. What's going on here? It's just not possible that nobody else saw that bitch. I'm sorry, she's a bitch. The waiter before said the same thing. He maintains that Dr. Wilson came to the restaurant alone as well. But that's not true. I saw her. I swear that I saw a woman with him. It would seem that we'll be able to telegraph the report to Great Britain on time after all. The witnesses' testimonies we have just heard leave no further room for doubt.
These are very sensitive political times, as we all know. The ink is still fresh on the treaty with Great Britain. To think that I, Takasuchi Auchi, will have contributed to the ebony of these two great empires is an honor.
Oh, shut up. Oh, no! I forgot that he does this! Honey! Babe, I forgot this happens in the first case! How can this be happening? The judge is ready to rule. Stand tall, Ryanosuke. It's not over yet. I want to give Naruhodo a hug! What? If what you say is true, then there's something going on here behind the scenes. And now is your chance to expose it, to draw out the truth in your cross-examination. I don't know, Kazuma. The defense is entitled to cross-examine the witnesses, but make it quick, understood?
Tisk! Rules can be so unbending at times.
Ugh. It's okay, Naruhodo, I'm here for you. I won't make anything stupid, I promise. None of the trophies thankfully told me to present the wrong evidence, okay? We're fine. The true culprit. Yes! No. It's not the same thing at all. For a start, I didn't fire that gun. We have a difference of opinion on that. The opinion of a uniform officer versus that of a fledgling cadet. I don't think so.
Consider this, defendant. Just a moment ago, I blinked.
Did you? I'm your friend too.
Did you see it?
Did you see me blink? Sir, you're wearing glasses that are fogged up. How can you even see through those? How could I?
And yet, it is undeniable fact that I did blink. So there you have it.
Have what? Tension! The sound of the firearm rang in my ears, and the very next moment, I saw you waving the gun at the Englishman.
I think that says it all, don't you?
Ugh.
And let us not forget that the antiques dealer witnessed the accused in this most incriminating position as well. Isn't that so, Kurikuta-san?
Korekuta. Sorry, for some reason I thought that was a you. Yes! Small CRT television. Yes, it may be true that I was holding the gun at that point in time. But I've told you already, that's only because I picked it up off the floor.
Well, obviously, as the culprit, that's the only way you could explain it away.
I had just finished drinking my coffee, and I was about to leave the restaurant when I noticed the gun on the floor at Dr. Wilson's feet, so I picked it up. And at exactly that moment, bang! A gunshot rung in my ears.
Full of events beyond our control, life is.
Sorry? What do you mean?
In your case, you found a pistol on the floor and picked it up, which precipitated this testing predicament. Whereas conversely, I failed to pick up the koban from the floor and find myself in an equally testing predicament as a result.
I don't trust you with that knife, sir.
Anyway, the fact remains, myself, I did see you, with a pistol in hand, standing over the foreigner.
Yes! You must have noticed someone else at Dr. Wilson's table. There was a lady there.
Objection! As you have been at pains to point out, and again, I feel I'm growing a callus in my ear.
Thank you for the follow.
And yet no one else appears to have caught even a glimpse of this woman.
If only there had been more people dining there at the time, then someone else would have noticed her. Unfortunately, it was already past 2 p.m. when it happened. A quiet time between lunch and dinner in any restaurant. I know. Of course, the place was almost empty. It's what you expect. Certainly, 2 p.m. is neither here nor there in terms of a time to eat. I wonder if there was a reason why the victim was eating at that time of day and why he was alone. Hello, Carmen! Welcome! Thank you for joining! I'm dying at the... Whoops. I was dying at the baby's pun name.
Yes, Your Excellency, there was indeed a reason.
There was?
This was found in the victim's jacket pocket.
What is that, Counsel?
It's a medical report card, Your Excellency.
Oh, I know what I gotta do now.
It would seem that the victim had an appointment at the clinic prior to visiting the restaurant.
Maybe he was a lonely eater. Ah, I'm glad Hada Clinic is still a thing. Hada Clinic? Yes, there would indeed appear to be an entry for the date in question. I'm glad Hada Clinic is kept into the localization. 19th November, noon to past 1 p.m. The very day of the incident. Damn it, DG Shu, why?
So the victim went for a late lunch following his appointment. The explanation couldn't be more simple. The prosecution felt no need to submit this evidence before, as it really has no bearing on the case.
I'll show you having no bearings in this case. I wonder, what do you think, Ryanosuke? Well, it is hard to see how it could be related, really. Remember, you can request for it to be entered into the court record as evidence if you think it'd be useful. Yes, put it in! Should I ask for Dr. Wilson's medical report card to be submitted as evidence or not? Yes, please submit it. That is the thing I need to present.
Yes!
Yes, sir. Yeah, yes or no. I thought I made that clear at the beginning when they showed up. If I may, I'd like to ask for that medical report card to be submitted as evidence, Your Excellency.
On what grounds?
Yeah, it's taking me quite a bit to get used to calling them by first name.
The court has already heard conclusive witness testimony. Additional evidence would be extraneous. Not to mention that the victim's movements prior to his arrival at the restaurant are of no concern.
Objection!
Whether or not they are of concern is up to us to decide. We have a right to explore all possible avenues.
I beg your pardon?
You have no authority to refuse a perfectly valid request for the submission of evidence. Very well, the court will grant the defense's request. Maybe you weren't here when they were introduced or something. I don't know. I know I said yes or no, sir, but...
Youngsters these days are forever asserting their rights. It's a most disturbing trend.
Ouchie, what are you doing right now? Officer, kindly add the victim's medical report card to the court record. Medical report card. A medical report card from Hada Clinic that was found in the victim's pocket. Okay. What we need right now is new clues. We have to explore things from every possible angle, even if they don't seem relevant at first. Right. I hear you.
Ha! You can conspire to prolong this trial as much as you like, but it's the day after the festival already for you.
Huh, nice saying. That's interesting.
Or perhaps you've forgotten that these witness testimonies leave no room for doubt. Feel free to reiterate for the accused, Korei Kuta-san.
Now I have to figure out which one I'm supposed to present to, but did I press on this? I don't know.
Yes!
I will press on it anyway. So you actually saw that with your own eyes, did you? The victim, Dr. Wilson, dining alone.
That I did. Forgive me for the position I place you in.
He's gonna do that face. No, he didn't.
So the testimonies of the old man, the soldier, and the waiter all agree on that point. Isn't that interesting? And let us not forget the incontestable evidence we have to support their statements as well. As can clearly be seen, there is only a single beef steak on the victim's table. A meal for one.
No. The antiques dealer, the sergeant, and the waiter who testified before. It's not impossible that they're all lying. But if so, then why? If I'm perfectly honest, I have absolutely no idea.
Yes!
Why aren't you telling the truth? What? What did you say, cadet? I clearly remember. There was a bitch sitting across the table from the professor. What if I just changed her, the woman, to bitch? Perhaps one of you might not have noticed. But for both of you to have failed to see the professor's dining companion, it's just not possible. Unfortunately for you, defendant Naruhodo, it's not just a case of these two witnesses alone. Sorry? The waiter, whose testimony the court heard earlier, clearly stated the same thing. He also said that the victim was alone. That's right.
Precisely. In other words, you are the sole proponent of this phantom lady.
But I...
If such a woman were indeed present at the scene, the prosecution demands to see proof. And if no such proof exists, the prosecution demands that no further mention of this phantom woman be made. It is a blatant waste of the court's time.
There's nothing I can say to that. Kazuma, I would love your assistant right now. You know, Naruhodo needs your assistant. Aw, KV, thanks for the subs! Excellent work, Ryunosuke. We've gleaned some new information now. Well, yes, but I don't feel like it changes much. I can't see that it brings any real discrepancies to light. I wouldn't be so sure. Let me see that medical report card you got before. Oh, you mean this? Yes, this is a brand new piece of evidence. So perhaps we should examine it in a little more detail. How exactly? You'll notice that some pieces of evidence bear a magnifying glass. These are the ones you may examine. Press A and you can take a closer look at the piece in question. Use all those directionals. Okay. I was like, how do I describe that? To rotate the evidence in all directions and examine it from all angles. By using the other directionals, right analog stick, left analog stick. Yes, there we go. You can move the crosshairs around to hunt for clues that may have been missed before. Okay, there's a couple things I want to poke then. If the crosshairs start to pulsate, press A to investigate further. Buttons and sticks! So, partner, I think you should take a closer look at this medical report card. See if there isn't something new to be learned by examining it in more detail. Why is that? What? Holy shit, why are you, what? Did you just say you're welcome and the Nightbot just blacklisted you? Hold on, what was that? Okay, I'm gonna have to check the Nightbot later. He's pretty sensitive today. Alright, I'll see what I can do. I need to use the right analog stick and the left analog stick, and A to suspect Inspect any areas of the evidence that look suspicious. So meta. Oh, that's... Ooh. They're just subtitles, but I'm so fascinated. Required for every visit. Ooh, ooh. Okay, well... It says Hada Clinic on this medical report card. I hate clinics, almost as much as I hate hospitals and surgeries. Aren't they all the same? When I was 5, I caught the only cold I ever had in my life. And I remember, even though I felt awful already, I had to have this hideous injection in my right arm. Ugh, I'll never forget it. Never in my whole life. Most people would give their right arm to have had only one cold in their whole life. Anyway, I don't think this is a clinic where they treat people for illnesses like that. Let's keep looking for clues. We don't want to miss anything. Can I open the book? Also, what's the trivia while I'm opening the book? Get vaccinated, everybody! Let's have a look. This is some kind of medical history, and I do not know the answer to that. Ah, there's an entry for the day the professor was killed. Extraction of molar with topical anesthesia. Extraction of molar? You mean he had a tooth taken out? It would seem so. Just before the incident, he had a bad tooth removed. Perhaps they used laughing gas. That's the most modern practice in the West for pain relief. Yes, I've heard of this anesthesia. Well, I'm glad you know that word, but not hemorrhage. Although it's hard to believe there's anything that can actually stop you feeling pain. Ah, there's a cautionary note from the medical practitioner as well. Strictly no food or drink besides water for 3 hours post-procedure until anesthetic effects have passed. There we go. Really? Sounds like information worth bearing in mind. Medical report card. A record of dental work. On the day of the murder, the victim had undergone dental treatment and been prohibited from eating or drinking anything but water. With this new information, the meaning of that one particular statement totally changes. So, I think it's time we listen to the testimony again, don't you? Definitely. Hold on, I still want to look at my stuff. Wait, don't... I'm supposed to examine this whole thing, I think. It looks like this medical report card for his first issue quite some time ago. It's probably a record of long-term treatment, that's why. With a family doctor, I imagine. Sorry, I didn't realize that was a sogi. I will grab the water after I read this. Well, I can't imagine. Going to a doctor, I mean. As long as I'm alive, I'm never consulting one. Naruhodo! Well, if you were dead, there'd be no point. So you don't like doctors, then? Why would you? They make you drink horrible tasting medicine. They give you painful injections, and then they demand lots of money from you for the privilege. All when you're at your lowest ebb. You sound like a model patient. With a bad case of stubbornness, no less. For which the only cure is very bitter medicine indeed. There we go! Got it! Anyway, I will drink the water then. Your medicine! Are you unable to take a shot where you are, DG Shu? I'm assuming. Like, it's one thing if the option isn't available to you, and I understand that. And I have a feeling the option isn't available to you where you are. I want to examine this while I'm at it, too. There we go! That's what I wanted! I'm gonna take this information now. Well, that's unexpected. What is? Look, do you see what it says the witness's name here? Satoru Hosanaga. Well, yes, business cards do tend to show the person's name. That's sort of the point. It's not the name that's unexpected, it's his job title. His job? Oh! Chief Inspector Sotaro Hosonaga, Primary Criminal Investigation Division, Imperial Police Bureau. Inspector? What on earth? I have no idea. But let's face it, the police have a lot of power and influence. If they're willing, it's somehow here. There we go. A sketch of the restaurant's layout is on the back. On the front, it's stated that Hosonaga-san is a police inspector. I am casually saying Hosonaga, well, I'm casually saying the honorifics as they come up, and then I'm sitting here like, oh yeah, they did that for this game. They did that for the localization. I really appreciate that. It just comes to me naturally now. Okay, can I examine this? Yes. This plan of the restaurant raises a number of questions, I think. Definitely. It's supposed to show the relative position of everything in the moments following the incident. But there's nothing to show the woman you say you saw there. Everything in this case is a lie. Even Naruhodo is a lie. Exactly. And that's not all. Look here in the upper left where it says kitchen. Oh yes, what of it? No one would use those complicated characters to write kitchen, especially not if they were in a hurry. Oh my god. You mean you don't remember those characters yourself, don't you? Study harder, Ryanosuke. Look, Asogi. Kanji is hard. Meiji era kanji is even harder. I understand. Alright, now I gotta figure out where I'm presenting. That's the wrong button again. Okay. I think I'm presenting here. Yes, I am. Hiragana, katakana, and kanji. And then, technically, furigana. Well, I think, About what are you wittering, lad? Call yourself a lawyer? I wish I could, but first and foremost here, I'm the accused. Ryanosuke. Everyone stumbles on their words occasionally. Under the circumstances, I wouldn't worry about it. Thanks, Kazuma. I could see it quite clearly in that cross-examination you just carried out. When you raised your hand straight up like that, so purposely, you knew exactly what it was you wanted to say. Don't feel like you have to choose your words carefully. Just say what you're thinking. Thanks, Kazuma. All right, and thanks for the advice. Besties. Kazuma Sudoku! Korekura-san, this is a medical report card belonging to the victim.
Ah, I see, and I don't see. What of it, boy?
Comparing what is written on this report card with your witness's statement. Baby slip! Something clearly doesn't add up.
Objection! Dear me, have you forgotten my words so soon, you amateur?
Oh, I can see Asogi playing Go. Sorry, what?
You are not to interrupt court proceedings with your amateur's drivel!
But let him finish!
Let's see if I can explain in words you might understand. It was after 2 p.m. in the afternoon when the victim was murdered at the restaurant. Whatever he may or may not have done before that time is completely irrelevant.
Let him finish, Ouchie! But that's, Remember, Ryanosuke, you don't have to use clever language or fancy words. Just make your point.
Your Excellency, I believe we're finished here. There's surely no need to prolong this trial further. The witness testimonies the court has heard have been clear and concise. No, they're not. This medical report card has no bearing on the matter at all, for the simple reason that there is no one else besides this pale-faced pupil who could...
A real death slam! He did it! Ooh. This medical report card has nothing to do with this case? Do you really believe that?
What? That outburst half petrified me, boy! Of course I believe it! How could it possibly be relevant?
Perhaps because Hara Clinic, which issued the report card, is a dental clinic.
A dental clinic? Is that supposed to mean something to me?
Oh my god, ouchie, ouchie, ouchie! Perhaps if I told you that the victim had just had a tooth extracted.
What's this now?
And furthermore, if I told you that, as a result, the victim had been forbidden from eating. Just what are you trying to say, Cadet? Oh, does he need to spell it out for you guys? He had orders not to eat, so what? Then why order a steak? It's all written in here. No food or drink other than water for 3 hours post-procedure while anesthesia wears off.
What? No, that can't.
Korekura-san,
What, boy? What?
as you just heard, when he was killed sometime shortly after 2 p.m., the victim couldn't have been eating anything at all.
No.
Additionally, there's more? You have assured the court with unwavering self-confidence that the victim was dining alone. Another real slam! But that cannot possibly be the case. Because the victim, as we now know, had just had one of his teeth extracted and was still experiencing the effects of the anesthetic. Ah! Expertly done, partner. What am I reading? Can you imagine an imaginary menagerie manager managing an imaginary menagerie? Why? God, why did I decide to read that?
What is this nonsense, you little upstart? These are baseless accusations. Just look at this photographic evidence. You can clearly see that the plate of food at the victim's table.
Objection!
Use your head. That's the very discrepancy we're talking about. Or can't you follow the logic?
How dare you?
I think it's fair to say that the tables in this restaurant case have turned. Aw, you're funny, Kazuma. Wouldn't you agree, Ryunosuke? Yes, most definitely. So having just undergone some dental surgery, the victim was unable to eat. I want to just say, the timing of the music, where they introduce it, is so good in this game, by the way. We haven't heard his objection theme, but we haven't heard this track either until now. Which leaves one very crucial conundrum. Who, in fact, was eating the picture beef steak? The court will hear the opinion of the defense on this new puzzle. I assume you're ready, counsel. Counsel? Oh, that means me, doesn't it? Oh. Alright, the answer to this question is going to be pivotal. This is the start of your turning this trial around. Show them what you're made of. Got it. So, the person eating the steak at the victim's table must have been... I'm putting this answer.
Yes!
I'm putting this answer. I don't care. I think it may have been me. What?
Objection!
It's not enough that you took the man's life, but you took his meal as well? That's a bee sting on a crying face. Huh. Some people seem to think they can do whatever they like.
And some people seem to think they can say whatever they like. Ryunosuke. Sorry, you're right. Of course I didn't eat it. The next time you make a quip like that, I'll make you eat your words. Well, okay. Then you'll be needing some dental surgery yourself. Kazuma, don't threaten violence! Alright, I get the message. The person eating the steak at the table was an as yet unknown third party. This death slam! Obviously, it can only be someone else who was sitting at the professor's table.
Objection!
You will not let this go, will you? There was no such person!
Yes!
Kinky! What? There was, because I saw her. When the incident occurred, we know that the victim couldn't have been eating anything, and we have evidence of a half-eaten steak on his table. Therefore, the only logical conclusion is that there was somebody else there eating it. We have strong evidence to support our assertion. It is clear that these witnesses' testimonies are unreliable. If the court decides to push through a ruling at this stage, we will lodge a formal complaint with the Ministry of Justice and pursue a fair retrial, relentlessly. Kazuma.
Are you insane? You would take on the government?
He's Kazuma Asogi. He takes on anyone. He gives no shits. Don't worry, Counsel. I have no issue with you.
What do you mean?
I did. Unintentionally, I did without realizing it. I have issues with them. Those two witnesses in the stand.
What?
What are you talking about? We have demonstrated with evidence that the victim was not alone. Let Ryo eat steak! So if it now turns out that the two of you deliberately lied when giving your testimonies, obviously you will be charged with perjury. Perjury? And since this is a murder trial, you will also deem complicit to the killing, in the killing.
Complicity in murder? No! Rubble.
Courtroom in HD, hold it! Negative! There was no mention of this at the tactical meeting! I was just following orders! Oh?
That's right, as the man says. Just say you never saw the gentlewoman. That's what they told us.
Ah, thank you. We appreciate your cooperation.
Oh.
What? What did you just say? Korekura-san?
Oh, I know.
You were just following orders.
Now hold on, lad. I was,
Say you never saw the gentlewoman? Ugh. When you say gentlewoman, do you mean you saw the victim with a lady from overseas? What?
Objection!
What is the meaning of this? These witnesses gave false statements?
Is this true, you pair? Gentlewoman. More like gentle bitch. Just one simple slip of the tongue.
Rumble.
Order! Counsel, explain what is going on here. It's painfully clear now you try to prevent these witnesses from telling the truth.
Absolutely not! The prosecution knows nothing of this!
Baby slaps her back! Bitch woman? Violent woman? Then who's behind this? Who tried to make you keep your mouth shut?
Well,
That's classified. So you're prepared to be tried as a conspirator to this murder, are you? You wouldn't. This can't be happening. Ryanosuke, judging from the way they're reacting to this, I'd say they were sworn to silence by someone with considerable influence. I have something I can present. However, I don't believe Aochi had any idea about it. What are you saying? I mean, to wield that kind of influence, there are only a handful of possibilities. It could only have been the government, the military, or the police, I suppose. Hey, we have something for that. Well, any ideas about who might be behind this? If we can affirm who tried to silence these witnesses, then we can continue our pursuit. So we need to name whoever it was that tried to make the witnesses keep their mouths shut. Of course, we'll need evidence before we make any firm accusations. I got it! We can do it! Evidence that proves whoever it was really did wield his or her power here. But how? How can we possibly... Remember how we made progress before? Before? We examined this piece of evidence in more detail and found a new clue as a result. Oh, yes, that's right. Well, that's not the only piece of evidence we have, is it? We need to re-examine everything and make sure there's nothing we've missed. There's no time to lose. I want answers. Calm down, Judge, we got you. If it's proven that these witnesses have been manipulated, I assure you the penalty will be severe.
Please, wait!
Ouchie, sweating in HD!
Your Excellency!
Man, I can really see the sweat.
I had no idea about any of this! I swear to every Shinto god! I knew nothing!
And what does the defense have to say about all this? Well, Your Excellency. Ugh, no time to think. I'm just gonna have to close my eyes and shout out the first name that comes into my head. I got you! I got you! Don't worry, Naruto, I got you! Besides the prosecution, the only other person with the necessary influence to manipulate the witnesses is... What if I pick Yujin Migatoba? Present as X. Yes! Well, surely that would be Satoru Hosonaga-san. Satoru Hosonaga-san? The waiter who took the stand earlier?
Objection!
Poppycock! What possible reason would the waiter have to make these witnesses give false testimonies? Not to mention the fact that even a head waiter could not possibly have that level of influence.
Oh, was he a waiter? For once, I would agree with you. If that is, the man were truly a waiter.
What? If he truly were?
Come on, Ryanosuke. Time to hit this court with the truth. The truth about Satoru Hosonaga-san's real identity as proven by this evidence. Present is X. Yes! The plan of the restaurant sketched by the man in question. Huh. I agree it shows a great deal of attention to detail, but I'm not sure we can conclude anything. Sorry, Your Excellency. That's the back of the card. It's the back of the card that's of interest. Oh no, honey. Takes photo. I beg your pardon? Or perhaps I should have said the front? Yes, it's the front of the back of the card. That's where the telling detail is. Would somebody please explain what this overexcited student is trying to say? Hosonaga-san sketched the plan of the restaurant on the reverse side of his business card. Poor Naruhodo. The front of that business card reveals the man in question's profession. His true profession. Look, he's stage fright, I understand. The waiter's profession. But that surely... Good gracious. That's right, Your Excellency. The card reads, Chief Inspector, Primary Criminal Investigation Division, Imperial Police Bureau. So instead of going detective, we're going with inspector, which is still the same, so that works.
What? The waiter is a police detective?
Well, they said detective anyway.
I haven't heard any mention of this before. Why haven't I heard any mention of this before?
Because you're too puny to be involved, ouchie. The Imperial Police Bureau has immense power. Absolute power, as far as regular civilians are concerned. So witnesses there in the stand. Was it in fact the waiter who gave you your orders? Was it he who told you not to mention that you'd seen this foreign gentlewoman at the scene?
Well. Hold it!
Hello, Hosonaga! Inspector Hosonaga! I was worried something like this may happen. The moment you asked me to submit my sketch as evidence, I realized it was a possibility. The court will take this plan and add it to the court record as evidence.
Oh, well.
Is there a problem? Hand the plan to the court officer at once. You know, that sounds like a cafe that, like in Japan, I think that could be a cafe that could occur in Japan. Of course. Here you are. I mean, there's like a freaking butler cafe. They could have like a detective cafe. They could have a cafe where detectives are butlers or waiters. Yes, I remember now. He did act strangely when the judge asked him to hand over his business card. I strive to carry out all investigations flawlessly. It's my guiding principle. But I let myself be distracted when I made that sketch. It was an unusually careless mistake.
So, you mean to say, you really are a detective?
But why would a detective be working as a restaurant waiter? Of course, your salary must be I got to read that. I was working undercover. Undercover? Yes, there have been a series of incidents at the restaurant recently. In order to investigate, I decided to get a job there as a waiter, working undercover. Incidents at the restaurant? What kind of incidents? That would be classified police information, which I am not at liberty to divulge. However, I can state categorically that they are unrelated to this case of homicide. That means it is related. Very well then, Inspector Hosonaga. But you will elaborate on one point for the court. Of course, Your Excellency. We have just heard new information from the two witnesses behind you. That at the time of the shooting, there was in fact another person present at the victim's table. If that is indeed true, clearly you would also have been aware of this person's presence, having served at the table in question. However, your testimony did not allude to this other diner. Therefore, I am led to assume that in your professional capacity as a police officer, you required these witnesses to be in agreement. Would that be correct? Correct, Your Excellency. Unbelievable! As I suspected. Bangu! As soon as I heard the gunshot, I ran out of the kitchen to see what had happened. The victim sat slumped in his chair, and beside him, gun in hand, stood the accused student. Sitting opposite the victim at the same table was a young lady, whom I guessed to be an Englishwoman. So the truth comes out. I immediately sealed off the restaurant and reported the incident to the bureau. It was then that I received some special orders. Special orders? You mean to say, remove the Englishwoman from the scene at once? Man, knowing everything that about this, what happens and everything, this whole confession, it has a new light to it. It was made clear that the Englishwoman's presence at the restaurant was to be concealed. Those were my orders. But what if this Englishwoman was the killer? I think it would be in everyone's best interest not to pursue that idea. No, we're pursuing it. The Empire views the friendly terms of its relationship with Britain more highly than anything at the moment. An Englishman has been murdered on our soil. To name an Englishwoman as the primary suspect, well, without irrefutable evidence, that would be completely out of the question. So that's the reason for the disappearance of the Phantom Woman in this case. But it's not right. Are you okay there, Ouchie? One possibility does spring to mind. What do you mean, Kazuma? Yume University is currently hosting a number of exchange students from Great Britain, and I'm fairly certain that one of them, studying in the Medical Facility Research Laboratory, is a young Englishwoman. I hope your friend enjoys! What? You're a shrewd man. I can see why you're the chosen candidate for the overseas study tour. You mean... When I removed the woman from the scene of the crime, I thought it prudent to check her identity first. Then the court demands that you name the lady in question at once, Inspector. The English woman sitting at the university's professor's table was a certain Miss Giselle Brett. Ah, okay, that's her localized name, okay. That sounds like a proper name. She is indeed a foreign student studying in the research laboratory of Yume University's medical facility.
What? What is happening here? Rubble, rubble, rubble.
I admit that under orders from the police bureau, I erased all evidence of this lady's presence at the scene, and ordered these witnesses to make no mention of her in their testimonies. Y'all suck for bullying Naruhodo, just saying. It must now be up to your excellency to decide how to deal with the situation. Very well. My thoughts on the matter are as follows. Thus far, the case presented to the court has been underpinned by a particularly critical premise. Namely, that the victim was dining alone. However, as we have now discovered that this premise is false. It would be a desecration of our justice system to ignore the truth and give a ruling at this point.
Objection!
But, Your Excellency, that would mean missing the new deadline of a ruling in order to send the telegraph report to Great Britain.
Who cares?
Our own government will surely be very displeased by such actions.
Calm yourself, Consul. I will not allow the government of our country or any other to influence the proceedings of my courtroom. Are you sure about that, Judge? I got a lot of thoughts about that.
Ugh.
Inspector Hosonaga. Yes, sir. You will locate this Giselle Brett and escort her to the courtroom with the utmost urgency. At once, Your Excellency.
But that means you'll be going against the special orders you were given from the police bureau.
Yeah, this version of the Giselle bullet killed Wilson. As I said before, it is my guiding principle to carry out all investigations flawlessly. So it won't be a problem. I love this pose of Hosonaga. That's so good. Nothing will get in my way. Not even this cough. Court will adjourn briefly. The prosecution must call the English student Giselle Brett to the witness stand. Do I make myself clear? I know, his cough makes me sad and worrying.
Yes. Your Excellency!
Good. Then we will have a 30-minute recess before reconvening. Do I get a save here? I got a save. Cool. This is where I'm gonna take a break then. Then we have to deal with her. Oh yes, we're gonna save my progress. Oh my god, look at all these save files.